In November 2003, 3 months before her disappearance, Maura admitted to using a stolen credit card to order food from several restaurants, including one in Hadley, Massachusetts. The charge was continued in December, to be dismissed after 3 months' good behavior. On the evening of February 5, 2004, while she was on duty at her campus security job, Maura spoke on the phone with her older sister, Kathleen. They discussed Kathleen's relationship problems with her fiancé. Around 10:30 p.m., while still on her shift, Maura reportedly broke down in tears when her supervisor arrived at her desk. Maura was just completely zoned out, no reaction at all. She was unresponsive. The supervisor escorted Maura back to her dorm room around 1:20 a.m. When asked what was wrong, Maura said to words, "My sister." The contents of this call remained unknown until October 2017, when Kathleen publicly explained the conversation. Kathleen, an alcoholic, had been discharged from a rehabilitation clinic that evening, and on the way home, her fiancé took her to a liquor store, which caused a relapse. On Saturday, February 7th, Maura's father Fred arrived in Amherst. He told investigators he and Maura went car shopping that afternoon, and later went to dinner with a friend of his daughter. Maura dropped her father off at his motel room and, borrowing his Toyota Corolla, returned to campus to attend a dorm party. She arrived at 10:30 p.m. At 2:30 a.m. on Sunday, February 8th, she left the party. At 3:30 a.m., en route to her father's motel, she struck a guardrail on Route 9 in Hadley, causing nearly $10,000 worth of damage to her father's car. The responding officer wrote an accident report, but there is no documentation of field sobriety tests being conducted. Maura was driven to her father's motel and stayed in his room the rest of the morning. At 4:49 a.m., there was a cell phone call placed to her boyfriend from Fred's phone. The participants and content of the phone call remain unknown. Later Sunday morning, Fred learned the damage to his vehicle would be covered by his auto insurance. He rented a car, dropped Maura off at the university and departed for Connecticut. At 11:30 that night, Fred called his daughter to remind her to obtain accident forms from the Massachusetts Registry of Motor Vehicles. They agreed to talk again Monday night to discuss the forms and fill out the insurance claim by phone. After midnight on Monday, February 9th, Maura used her personal computer to search MapQuest for directions to the Berkshires in Burlington, Vermont. The first reported contact Maura had with anyone on February 9th was at 1 p.m., when she emailed her boyfriend, "I love you more, stud. I got your messages, but honestly, I didn't feel like talking too much of anyone. I promise to call today though. Love you, Maura." She also made a phone call inquiring about renting a condominium at the same Bartlett, New Hampshire, condo association with which her family had vacationed in the past. Telephone records indicate the call lasted 3 minutes. The owner did not rent the condo to Maura. At 1:13 p.m., Maura called a fellow nursing student for reasons unknown. On the afternoon of Monday, February 9th, at 1:24 p.m., Maura emailed a work supervisor of the nursing school faculty that she would be out of town for a week due to a death in her family. According to her family, the family had not experienced a death. She also said she would contact them when she returned. At 2:05 p.m., Maura called a number which provides recorded information about booking hotels in Stowe, Vermont. The call lasted approximately 5 minutes. At 2:18 p.m., she telephoned her boyfriend and left a voice message promising him they would talk later. This call ended after 1 minute. Maura packed clothing, toiletries, college textbooks, and birth control pills in her car. When her room was searched later, campus police discovered most of her belongings packed in boxes and the art removed from the walls. It is not clear whether Maura packed them that day, but police at the time said she had packed between Sunday night and Monday morning. On top of the boxes was a printed email to Maura's boyfriend indicating possible trouble in their relationship. Around 3:30 p.m., Maura drove off the campus in her black 1996 Saturn sedan. Classes at the university had been canceled that day due to a snowstorm. At 3:40 p.m., Maura withdrew $280 from an ATM. Closed-circuit footage showed she was alone. At a nearby liquor store, Maura purchased about $40 worth of alcoholic beverages, including Bailey's Irish Cream, Kalia, vodka, and a box of Franzia wine. Security footage again shows she was alone when she made that purchase. At some point in the day, she also picked up accident report forms from the Registry of Motor Vehicles. Maura then left Amherst between 4 p.m. and 5 p.m., presumably via Interstate 91 North. She called to check her voicemail at 4:37 p.m., the last recorded use of her cell phone. To date, there is no indication she had informed anyone of her destination, or any evidence that she had chosen one. Sometime after 7 p.m., a Woodsville, New Hampshire, resident heard a loud thump outside her house. Through her window, she could see a car up against a snowbank along Route 112, also known as Wild Amanuensis Road. The car pointed west on the eastbound side of the road. The local woman reported the car accident on the sharp corner adjacent to her home, telephoning the Grafton County Sheriff's Department at 7:27 p.m. to report the accident. According to the 911 log, the woman claimed to have seen a man smoking a cigarette inside the car. However, she later stated that she had not seen a man nor a person smoking a cigarette, but rather had seen what appeared to be a red light glowing from inside the car, potentially from a cell phone. A passing motorist, a school bus driver who lived nearby, stopped at the scene. He saw the car, as well as a young woman walking around the vehicle. The school bus driver noticed the young woman was not bleeding or visibly injured, but cold and shivering. He offered to call for help. She asked him not to call the police. One police report says pleaded and assured him she had already called. AAA has no record of any such call. Knowing there was no cellular reception in the area, the bus driver continued home and called the police. His call was received by the sheriff's department at 7:43 p.m. The bus driver was unable to see Murray's car while he made the call but did notice several cars pass on the road before the police arrived. Another local resident driving home from work claims she passed by the scene around 7:37 p.m. and saw a police SUV parked face-to-face with Murray's car. She pulled over briefly and did not see anyone inside or outside either vehicle and decided to continue home. This witness's statement contradicts the official police log, which has Haverhill police arriving 9 minutes later. According to the official police log, at 7:46 p.m., a Haverhill police officer arrived at the scene, but the woman driver had disappeared. No one was inside or around the car. The car had impacted the tree on the driver's side of the vehicle, severely damaging the left headlight and pushing the car's radiator into the fan, rendering it inoperable. The car's windshield was cracked on the driver's side, and both airbags had deployed. The car was locked. Inside and outside the car, the officer discovered red stains that looked to be red wine. Inside the car, he found an empty beer bottle and a damaged box of Franzia wine on the rear seat. In addition, he found an AA card issued to Maury, blank accident report forms, gloves, compact discs, makeup, diamond jewelry, driving directions to Burlington, Vermont, Murray's favorite stuffed animal, and Not Without Peril, a book about mountain climbing in the White Mountains. Missing were Murray's debit card, credit cards, and cell phone, none of which have been located or used since her disappearance. The police later reported some of the bottles of purchased liquor were also missing. Journalist Joe McGee, writing for the Quincy, Massachusetts, Patriot Ledger, summarized the incident. At a hairpin turn, she went off the road. Her car hit a tree. At that point, a person came along who was driving a bus. It was a neighbor. He asked her if she needed help. She refused. About 10 minutes later, police showed up to the scene and Maury was gone. Police traced the vehicle to Maury and initially treated her as a missing person on the belief that she may have wanted to disappear voluntarily. This speculation was based on her travel preparations about which she had confided nothing to friends or family and no obvious evidence of foul play. In 2009, Murray's case was given to the New Hampshire Cold Case Division, and authorities are handling it as a suspicious missing persons case. Between 8 o'clock and 8:30 p.m., a contractor returning home from Franconia saw a young person moving quickly on foot eastbound on Route 112 about 4 to 5 miles east of where Murray's vehicle was discovered. He noted that the young person was wearing jeans, a dark coat, and a light-colored hood. He did not report it to police immediately due to his own confusion of dates, discovering only 3 months later when reviewing his work records that he had spotted the young person the same night Ray disappeared. The responding officer and the bus driver drove around the area searching for Maury. Just before 8 p.m., EMS and a fire truck arrived to clear the scene. By 8:49 p.m., the car had been towed to a local garage. At about 9:30 p.m., the responding officer left. A rag believed to have been part of Murray's emergency roadside kit was discovered stuffed into the Saturn's muffler pipe. Authorities would refer to Maury as simply missing at 12 p.m. the next day, almost 24 hours after the last confirmed sighting of her. At 12:36 p.m. the following day, February 10th, a Be on the Lookout report for Maury was issued. She was reported as wearing a dark coat, jeans, and a black backpack. A voicemail was left on Fred Murray's home answering machine at 3:20 p.m. stating that her car had been found abandoned. Fred was working